Okay, in this video we are going to be doing a fighting style tier list. There's actually only like 1 or 2 fighting styles to every single tier, because again there aren't that many fighting styles. And the reason that I'm making this fighting style tier list is because with the new GPO, what's it called, balance change, gameplay mechanic change, I don't know what to call it. I figure it changes enough fighting styles to the point where a new fighting style tier list is actually valid to do. I haven't done one in a very, very long time as well, so I figure it's about time. So, starting off in the F tier, obviously we're going to do basic combat. It only has 2 skills. I don't think either of them are guard breaks, and you immediately get rid of it. Like with every other fighting style, and there's no other way to obtain it unless you, I think, switch races when you have a race specific fighting style. I think, like, for example, if you have Fishman and then you switch races, and you have Fishman Karate and you switch races, then you'll be given basic combat as like a placeholder fighting style. I'm pretty sure that's like the only way to get it after like you get rid of it the first time. Then we have D tier, our first actual tier, and in D tier I put Rokushiki because Rokushiki, realistically, its kit has no guard breaks except for the ult. Renkyokyu is pretty useless. Takai is a solid skill, and people are really gonna only ever end up using the kit for Takai and the Soru dash, because GPO isn't unique to it anymore, so therefore it's just not useful. And the rest of its kit, you know, low damage, its M1 scaling isn't great, it has no, just average M1s. You know, nothing really about the kit is amazing or really that good, to be honest with you, so it really just slides itself into D tier, which is very shocking considering the fact that it was used to be considered one of the best, if not the best, fighting style in the game. But with this addition, and with Soru Dash getting nerfed a while back, you know, they put end lag on it, it really just completely nerfed the fighting style into the ground. But then we have, but yeah, that's it for D tier. Then we have C tier, which I decided to put Mink in C tier, or the electro fighting style. Now, the only reason it's not higher is because it doesn't have any guard breaks other than the ult. If it had a guard break other than the ult, I would for sure put it higher, but that really does take away a lot from it, because you could just you can find yourself honestly just blocking the vast majority of the kit. Its damage is solid. Its stun is really good when you charge your M1s. Its kit is just really solid. It's missing a good guard break. So that's really all that is keeping it from being higher up on this list, which is just genuinely very disappointing, to be honest. But it is really good fun, and I will give it that, and it has climbed up a lot higher than what I would have given it pre-GPO buff. So that's pretty good. Then we have B tier. In B tier, I decided to put 1 and 2 sword style. I put them very similarly, mainly because each of them don't have any grinding capability. They're all both PvP based, and you can make the argument that like I can see how someone would prefer 1 sword style over 2 sword style, because yes, 2 sword style does have a high damage true combo extender. Yes, its M1 damage scaling isn't great, while 1 sword style's M1 damage scaling is a lot better. So I have seen people who have said they've preferred the 1 sword style over 2 sword style, though I think 2 sword style is better in my opinion. I do think 1 sword style is still definitely a very, very, very valid fighting style, so that is not something to, you know, gawk at. But 1 sword style, realistically, again, its kit just doesn't have any good guard breaks. Now that I think about it, I probably should have put 1 sword style in C tier. Yeah, I'm like, 1 sword style realistically should be in C tier. 2 sword style should be in B tier, because 1 sword style just doesn't have any good guard breaks. Its only one is like Dragon Blaze, which is again an ult. It's a reoccurring thing that keeps certain fighting styles from being really good. It's just their guard breaks are all ults, and getting your ult in arena is something that's kind of difficult to do. So that being your only guard break is incredibly limiting. But then in 2 sword style, you know, you have Nitoryu Strike, and then you can also rely on Raging Roll as a combo extender, and You're given Rashomon Draw, which yes is an ult, but it's also a guard break. So, you know, the whole kit is actually really, really solid. While one sword style, you're really not going to utilize like a good chunk of that kit to the best of your capabilities, just because it's difficult to. But yeah, I definitely put two sword style higher than one sword style now that I think about it. Next we have Blackleg. Now Blackleg technically is like two fighting styles because there's Diable as well, and I was really fighting putting this in S tier when I put a lot of thought into it, and to be honest, it might be deserving of S tier depending on how you think about it. Like all around, it probably is S tier. But I'm just not really sure how I'm ranking these, to be honest. I'm just saying these, like, some of them I'm really only taking PvP into consideration, because PvE is kind of like Roku for PvE, not good. Mink, okay, I guess. The sword ones aren't great for PvE. I don't think the rankings would change too much if I put both into consideration, so yeah. But Blackleg, I really do think Blackleg is still a very good fighting style. The reason it doesn't suffer from this Geppo buff like how how Roku did, was because it's not all that it really offered. It was mobility. It has a very good base kit, first of all, with Collier being you can utilize Collier as a combo extender. You're given anti-manner, party table kick, course. Really the only useless skill it had was B-Shot, to be honest with you, which was, you know, that's cool that it only had one skill that really wasn't that good. And also it has solid M1 damage scaling, which is also really nice to have, just really good M1 damage scaling. And not to mention that it has another mode, Diable Jambe, and Diable is also really good. Now, less for PvP. There are some people who know how to use it very well for PvP, but I personally don't think it's really worth getting for PvP. It's kind of a waste of skill points. But for grinding, it is very solid to get for skill points because it does good damage. It gives it Blackleg the one thing that it was missing, which is range and AoE, and it gives it that. So that is also very nice to have. So it just makes it like actually viable for grinding. Like its skills that it's given are just really solid, and I've seen people solo dungeons with it, which is incredible, to be honest. It's not an easy feat to do, like soloing dungeons with Blackleg or Diable or whatever, but it's definitely something that is possible, which is really commendable, really cool. So yeah, that's why I have Blackleg so high up. Whether or not it's in C tier, debatable, but I think that it's like decent for PvP and really good for grinding, which is why it really just finds itself in A tier. Now for S tier, I decided to do Fishman Karate. Now Fishman Karate, I think, is just definitely the best fighting style in the game. Its M1 damage scaling is completely broken, finding yourself doing 61 damage M1s with 375 skill points into strength. You can true combo Water Prison out of M1s, which allows you to land other skills. Shark Barrage, if you PB someone, does really good damage, but to be honest, you'd be better off just utilizing the M1s. The main reason this fighting style is good is because of its M1s. I'm not gonna lie, the M1s definitely do carry, but you can also use it for grinding, as the ult is incredibly high AoE, good damage. You have Shark Barrage, which, you know, is a burst, so you could just Geppo up and then check out a Shark Barrage in dungeons. That would also work. You can check out a Water Serpent, which is really good for, again, dungeons. Very solid. Water Prison has a high range on it, so you can kind of just snipe people with it. Also very solid for arena and for dungeons. But really in arena, you are going to be mainly utilizing your incredibly high damage M1s. That's what's going to be making this fighting style so good in arena. For grinding, it's okay, but for arena, it's probably the best fighting style in the game. Like, it's just, I think it's got to be. Personally, I think it is, because before, like, Fishman Karate definitely wasn't a bad fighting style. Like, it was a very solid fighting style. The only thing it was missing was mobility. So when you give it the one thing that it was missing, it's just the best fighting style in the game. I don't think there's any other way of really seeing that. When it comes to arena, at the bare minimum, it's the best fighting style of the game. For PvE, that's pretty arguable. I would personally say Diable or Blackleg. Like, Diable is the best for grinding. So yeah, if you want a grinding fighting style, pick Diable / Blackleg. If you want a PvP fighting style, I would say Fishman Karate. If you can't get Fishman Karate for PvP, I would probably say Two Sword style or maybe Black Leg, but I think probably just Two Sword style. Yeah, for PvP, if you can't get Fishman Karate, Two Sword style. But if you can, then definitely Fishman Karate. And for PvE, I think people should be taking advantage of Diable. That's pretty much it. That's the whole video. That's the tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't think my opinions are too out there. I think a majority of this is common knowledge. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.